Super Bowl. And with me, I'll have James Johnson showing photographs of our recent Super Bowl. And later, Harry Reagan, president of the Jacksonville Historical Society, will interview individuals who've been crucial in setting up the city's historic districts. First, I'd like to welcome to the show James Johnson. James, hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you here. You're a photographer of 20 years in Jacksonville,
Yes,
Florida. You got interested in photography in high school
Yes,
with your high school yearbook.
Correct.
And from that time on, you've been snapping photos of Jacksonville.
I've been doing a lot of Jacksonville photographs. I have some nice shots here of the Super Bowl activities that we've just had from the. Do you want to talk about the picture?
I'd love to. What I will say is it's sort of serendipitous. The Jacksonville Historical Society, one of the things we do is we archive, we keep photos of our city's history. And one of our great failings is sometimes not looking at what's happening now as our history.
Right.
Obviously, in days before the Super Bowl, you and I talked, and you got out, you hit the streets.
I hit the streets.
To give us, the Jacksonville Historical Society, and we'll archive all this, the story of the Super Bowl in photos. So these are photos people haven't seen yet. They haven't, of course, they've seen what's been in the newspaper. They've seen perhaps what's been on television news. But these are photos you took for the Historical Society that in years to come, decades to come, will be available to researchers. Perhaps 50 years from now, 100 years from now, there'll be a wonderful book published with a segment on the Super Bowl, and your photos will be there.
That would be great.
And I'd love to show the viewers just some of the photos you captured of Super Bowl week in Jacksonville.
Very good.
So we'll do that.
Okay.
And first photo will be up in just a minute. And in fact, maybe while they're getting ready, here you go. Tell a little bit about this one.
This is a shot of Alltel Stadium from the St. Nicholas area of town looking across the river. This is obviously a nighttime photograph with the stadium all lit. This is 2 nights before the Super Bowl. And you can see it's brilliantly lit. There are no people in it that you can tell, but it's just the postcard image of the stadium.
Exactly, just a real signature piece, and that is the spot where the Super Bowl was played. We're just going to keep going through some of these photos to really show what is, I think, a photo story. And here you go. Tell me what's happening here.
Well, this is a young lady getting an autograph from a retired pro. They had a flag football game at JU, and many of the kids were just anxiously waiting for the game to finish to get their autographs. So it's just, you know, it's not just about the adults, it's about the young people, it's about the children. And
you can, and what this proves is that's right, activities for everyone, family, and of course we saw so many of the parties, which I think we're getting ready to see a party photo right now. That'll come up, and I think a lot of people, well, that was one, but what is, this is party, all right, tell what this is. Real art
I was going to go back. This is some activity on Bay Street. The entire Bay Street area was closed down for vending, and there were a lot of people having
a good time. And Bay Street was a popular area. And again, it was all about, there was something for everyone to celebrate this moment in the city's history, and of course the Super Bowl, which is a national, international event. And we'll just keep going through these photos. This one coming up really speaks to why there was a party. If people don't know what this is, would you tell them, James?
I would say this was probably the staple of the Super Bowl. This is beer. For lack of a better word, it's a lot of beer.
A lot of beer. And those were the cake. Where did you find this shot? Very artsy shot, let me add.
This was on the South Bank Riverwalk near the Radisson. They had a lot of tents and things set up for the fans.
And you know, if someone's out taking pictures and for use in the future to really tell a story, give me a tip. What would you tell them?
Well, I would say don't always look for the postcard shot. You want to see sometimes the mundane things.
Like the beer cakes.
Like the beer cakes, but it's an interesting composition. So there are interesting things all around. It's not always the postcard shot.
And you want to bring up another shot for us now? Yeah, we want to move the shots along so people can see. There you go. That's the South Bank Riverwalk,
This is on the South Bank Riverwalk also. just a gentleman toting a 6-foot-tall bottle of Bacardi.
And why don't you keep the shots going?
We'll
Here
keep
you
it
go.
going. So we had many yachts coming up in the river.
And beautiful big yachts. Look at
We
this
had
one.
buses coming in. We had many modes of transportation.
Oh, look at this. New England will be clam chowder by bowl time. That's cute. Miss those signs. That's great.
That unfortunately did not happen for them.
True. But they were, boy, were they powerful fans.
They were. We're going to see some fans. They seem to be a little more fired up. Here's, I believe this is a Corona girl signing autographs.
Okay. For those who don't know what a Corona girl is, that would be Corona beer, I guess. I guess. And now, oh, this is a beautiful shot.
Here's inside the landing.
How did you manage to get that shot? Because I know it was wall-to-wall people.
Well, I had to stand still and hold the camera above my head, and I took many pictures.
I'll be done.
And this was the best one. So
wonderful, wonderful with that Modis shot up. Okay. And
a sight you don't see often is a cruise ship moored right there by the landing.
Oh, that's a fabulous shot, which really helps tell that full story. You know, here people were staying on the cruise ships, crucial part of the skyline.
Right. That's your traditional postcard shot right there.
Oh.
Here are some of the Eagles fans.
And you caught that, what, the day before when the weather got so pretty?
Correct. That was when the weather finally started breaking. This is in the landing again. Folks dancing. You can see it was wall to wall. It was packed out.
My goodness. Okay, here you go.
ESPN had their facility set up on the near Friendship Fountain.
Right there on the south bank. That's correct.
And here are some gentlemen wondering if they have $5,000 to rent this car for a day.
What was that? Like a Lamborghini?
It's a Ferrari. I
was going to make a fool of myself, so I'm glad you said it.
Yeah,
Ferrari.
I think it's a Ferrari. It's very expensive, but it was very interesting.
Oh,
and the showcase of the festivities, I believe, were the fireworks. Just tremendous fireworks that we had. Tremendous. We'll scroll through some of these.
Okay. Well, and there, of course, the Main Street Bridge being the centerpiece to me, the
John T.
Alsop Bridge.
It looked beautiful.
Isn't that color?
The lighting on the fresh paint. I mean, it was iridescent. I would say it was very, very lovely.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Just tremendous fireworks. And I think we're about done with the fireworks. Almost. And these were shot from the Acosta Bridge, so I was shivering on top of the bridge waiting for the...
So a little nippy. Now, what is this? Is this...
These are fans at the flag football game they held at JU.
And who was playing in the flag football game? Pros?
Well, it was retired pros. We're getting ready to see a shot, I believe, of Roger Staubach coming up soon.
Oh, now what was happening here at the Florida Theater that night, that particular night?
I'm not sure if they were having an event. They're just this is at the beginning of the Bay Street activities. So we have the police, directing traffic and the people crossing. So,
and viewers need to know, people like the Historical Society will take these photos, will document, such as what was happening that night at the Florida Theater, so we'll know in the future what we were shooting there.
Here's some of the retired pros that were playing. That's Doug Flutie with the football. He's the famous quarterback there. Let's see if Roger's coming up. No, we have some vending on Bay Street, so you could find many different things to eat.
And here you go, back to the flag football, I think.
Yeah. This is a future pro hopeful.
Okay. Now, is this is an...
This is an Eagles fan.
Eagles fan. I was going to guess. I didn't quite get the...
I did not see any...
Face painting.
Face-painted New England fans. I only saw the Eagles fans, so very good for a picture. Here's some of Jacksonville Fire Department firefighters giving directions to a New England fan. And another Eagles fan. And our newly lit Hart Bridge.
Isaiah D. Hart. Isaiah D. Hart being
founder of Jacksonville.
Very good, very good.
And some of the wares that were available to purchase, the jerseys and such.
A lot of vending going on, and I'm glad you captured some of that, the prices and the parking.
Now this was the Kings Street parking facility. The $30, I believe, was a private parking lot across the street, but that definitely shows the parking situation. This was one of the kiosks, I guess you would say, that they had along the Superfest, where they were playing music from, and each area had their own little kiosk or large kiosk that played the different music.
Look at that, another landing shot.
Welcome
Wonderful
to Super Bowl
shots.
39 on the Modis building.
Oh, isn't that,
Yeah.
I started to say, isn't that super? Well, that's just a little too corny. Didn't mean that. And then look, a beautiful shot of the Allsop Bridge, Main Street Bridge.
Main Street Bridge.
Beautiful. And you got that from the north. Is that from the north?
This is at the landing. There are a lot of boats docked. There are sailboats, some tall sailboats there.
Right, the eastern side of
Correct.
the South Bank, yes.
And there's
okay.
the postcard shot of the Main Street Bridge.
Gorgeous.
And here's some folks having fun. There's a Marine with his children.
So back to daytime activities
Correct.
again. This was one of that foggy day, probably a Thursday.
This was Thursday. This was when we were worried that we were going to have a rain out, but fortunately the weather cleared for Friday and the weekend. And Modis and the landing in the evening.
What a great statement. And this is, this again puts the photo story together of the Super Bowl, because you really did see a lot of this. A lot of that. That look now, okay.
Here's a New England fan. Here's the exterior of the NFL Experience.
Where thousands and thousands visited, and I understand people just had a wonderful time there. Those are great shots, showing what families did during the Super Bowl, as well as these wonderful fireworks.
Here's a shot that shows the North Bank and the South Bank, and you can see in the left side where it's lit very brightly, that is the NFL Experience there, but you can see the entire city from that vantage point right there.
History buffs love this because, you get that skyline picture that we love. It, dates the city, and we love that. The no parking.
This was a common theme throughout the city. And more vending, hot pretzels.
I understand you don't have them with you, but you took shots of the leftover trash and garbage for us. So tell that full story.
Yeah. Well, I had thought about putting some trash pictures in there, but I did not know if we wanted to. We want to put the good face on.
Now, what's this?
This is a young boy watching the old pros playing the flag football game.
Back to that. Ah,
there you go. Lots of different modes of transportation. We have the rickshaw.
These were much talked about from the standpoint of price. Oh, road closed signs, gracious goodness. Probably the most noted sign during the Super Bowl match right now.
Even the camera crews want their photo made with a stadium behind them.
Terrific.
And the classic skyline with the River City Brewing Marina in the foreground. We have sneakers out at the beach. We had a lot of folks out at the beach. They had the Sports Illustrated party tent set up out at the beach. That would be the swimsuit party? Correct. Invitation only. So that's I did not have the invite. We have about a minute left, so we're going to look at a few more, and I want to have a chance. Here we go. That's the Sports Illustrated tent. So. Okay. Just one more venue, and this shows, the venues were everywhere, not just downtown, not just Riverside. It spread out throughout the entire North Florida, and here is a beach venue. They covered the entire Ocean Walk bandshell all the way with a humongous tent. I think they're still taking it down. Well, James, so we have just a minute to ask you. Oh, look at this. Now, this is back to the flag football game. Yeah, this is Roger Staubach from the Dallas Cowboys. James, just so we have a minute, if, of course, the Jacksonville Historical Society will archive all these photos, and we feel this is our responsibility to the city to try to capture these historic moments, and we're so grateful you helped us do that. But if people can see a lot of these photos on a website you keep, would you give us your website address? Well, my web address is jhjphotography.com. I also have images that I sell through printroom.com/pro/jhj, and that's where my storefront is. And I want to take another just minute to point out this wonderful image behind us is a real signature piece of yours. It's been published. It was published in one of the a recent Jacksonville book, which we keep at the Historical Society. But this magnificent photo that a lot of people really do know you're the photographer behind this great skyline shot.
James, I want to thank you so much helping us share the story of the importance of saving photos of historic events in Jacksonville. You did a magnificent job with your photographs. Your wonderful photograph was just up on the screen. I want to invite you back to share more of your